Hello everyone, I'm delighted to say that Kylie and I are now back to start off the prompts and challenges for 2022 for the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium. Now, we've got 3 weeks left in January and we've decided that we want to take this opportunity to get prepared for the rest of the year. So the challenge for this week is gather your supplies. Now, I've got some examples here of ways that we can do this. I want to make a Flowish style journal. Many of you will be familiar with Flowish style journals. It's something that I've wanted to try for quite some time. A Flowish style journal is just a journal filled with junk ephemera or any kind of ephemera that you like that you can pull from to use in journals going forward. So the idea is that you have some kind of book or folder that you can use and loose leaf bind in various bits and pieces that you can pull from to use throughout the year. So this is the cover that I'm going to be using. This is something that I made a few years ago that I was planning on sending out in a Happy Mail swap, and I soon discovered not long after starting it that it was going to be far too big and way too heavy for me to be able to afford to send it overseas in the post, and so it's just sat on my shelf ever since. So I've decided this is what I am going to use, but I do want to share some other ideas as well. Now, I also have this Concertina file folder. Now, this is a shop bought one. I had this on clearance from Tesco's a few years ago. I absolutely love this, and it may well be as well that, I do put some bits and pieces in this as well. I love the design of it. This has got 10 Concertina pockets. It's really sturdy. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, this is bound in elastic, so something like this would be absolutely perfect. So if you've got something like this hanging around your craft room, then feel free to use something like this. I've also got some ideas as to how you can make one of these yourself. I've made lots of these over the years, and I think this was the very first one I made using envelopes. So this is this one here. Just absolutely love it using envelopes. I've used duct tape as well to strengthen it, and just a painty paper or mixed media masterboard as the cover. I've just used baker's twine as well just to hold it together, and some beads that I think Almut had sent me in Happy Mail. So I'll leave the link to this video in the description box below. I've also got a couple of different styles of these. This is a smaller one that I made for the Bohemian challenge, I do believe. So that one there is just made using scrapbooking paper. Again, this one here is made with one of my masterboards. So you can see I've made several of these over the years, and they're just so much fun to use. Most of the ones that I've made have been sent out in Happy Mail filled with ephemera goodies. And of course, you can adapt these to any size and style you like. So again, I'll leave the video showing how I made these in the description box below. And the final idea I have is the William Morris inspired ephemera folder that I made just before Christmas. This again would be absolutely perfect for holding pieces of ephemera. I've made these using those plastic file folder wallets that I've cut down. And again, I've got a tutorial showing how to make something like this. So let me just explain how I made this cover here, because I haven't got a tutorial for it, although it was made in exactly the same way as my usual scraps journal cover. So I will leave the link to how I made this one here in the description box below, because this one was made in exactly the same way. I have used a cereal box as the main substrate for this, and I've covered it in this beautiful green floral fabric. You can see that the cereal box is quite flimsy, and that's absolutely fine. So I've covered it in fabric and folded the fabric around the edges. Then the inside, front and back cover are just some pieces of scrapbooking paper. In fact, actually this scrapbooking paper here was the very first paper I ever bought, which was a pack that I had from Costco many years ago. I don't think they even do scrapbooking paper anymore. I have then added some washi tape here just to disguise the edges. and I've also strengthened the spine using some heavy chipboard. This was some picture framing chipboard, and I've just cut a piece to measure the width of the spine. The spine here measures 2 inches, and of course the length here of the scrapbooking paper, and I've covered that in another piece of coordinating scrapbooking paper just to strengthen my spine, just because otherwise it would have just been far too flimsy. And I am going to be using some elastic again to make my signatures. So that is just the basics of my cover. Now, before I start filling my Flowish journal, I just want to make a couple of pouches for the inside front cover and inside back cover. Now, to do that, I'm going to use some laminating pouches. I've just got some cheap ones here. This brand is Great Expressions. You can use any cheap ones, the ones that come with your laminating machine, or cheap ones from the pound shop. It really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to take a couple of these out, and what I am going to do is taking the sealed side. You've got a sealed side on these and a non-sealed side, which obviously gives you the opportunity to open them up. Let me just move that one out of the way for a second. Let's grab a pen, because what I want to do now is work out roughly how wide I want this to be. So we want a bit of a gap, and I'm just going to make a mark here like this, and I'm going to take that off to my paper trimmer and just trim this non-sealed edge. Hopefully you can see this, but that's roughly the size of the pouch that I'm going to end up with. I can take some off the top shortly if I want to. Now let me just move this to one side and bring in a piece of black cardstock, because hopefully you'll be able to see this a little bit better. That one's a bit crumpled at the edge, but it doesn't matter. This is just for the purpose so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Now bring in my second piece of laminating paper, and this time with the non-sealed edge on the left hand side. Let's have a look. How do I want to do this? I just want to pop this on top here, and what we need to do this time is just make sure that we've got a gap on the left hand side and a gap, whoops daisy, a gap on the left hand side and a gap at the bottom. Of course now it's super slippery, so it's moving around all over the place, and I just need to bring in my pen again, and I just want to make a mark so that we've got an even gap now on the right hand side. So I'm just going to take this off to the paper trimmer and trim that as well. So now we have another piece of laminating pouch that is unsealed all around the edges. Here we go. We've got even spacing on the left, the right and at the bottom. What I want to do next is turn these pieces here around the other way. So I'm just going to turn that one upside down, turn that one upside down as well. So now we have the shiny sides facing each other. So shiny, shiny, and the matte sides are on the outside. So matte and matte, and this is where it starts to curl and becomes a bit fiddly, but that's okay. So let's open up the bottom laminated sheet, which of course is sealed on the left hand side, and that will help us. We get a bit of static, which really at this stage is our friend. And what I want to do is line these up, try and get this nice and straight. Doesn't take too long, so that we've got a nice even gap all the way around. Pop that in there. We've got some wiggle room, so if we don't get it quite right the first time round, you know, we can just play around with it until we do. So here we go. If I hold this up, hopefully you'll be able to see that we've got an even gap on the left, along the bottom and along the right. And I'm just going to whiz this through my laminating machine this way round, so it's going to go in that way, and as soon as I've done that I'll be straight back. And this is what my pouch looks like. You can see that it's sealed on the left, the bottom and the right, but we have an opening at the top. All I need to do now is just take the top off. This is what my pouch looks like. So we've got the opening at the top. I've trimmed it around the edges so that that's nice and neat. Now, height wise, I've ended up trimming it down to 7 inches. I've just kept playing around until it felt about the right size. It is 7¼ inches wide. I've done another one for the right hand side as well, so I've made two. Let me just move that out of the way because we don't need that anymore. So that will glue onto the inside, and we've got a second one which is going to go on the back. And the reason I've done these in clear is because that classic saying, out of sight, out of mind. If I've got ephemera inside these and I can't actually see what's inside, then I am just more likely to use it. Now I'm going to use some of my red score tape to glue this down. In fact, actually bring back my black paper so that you can see what I'm doing. I am just going to add some tape to my pocket, and I'm going to leave a gap. I'm not going to have it directly to the left and right hand side, just so that I've got more space to be able to get in and out of it. If you glue it too close to the edge, then you've got very little space to work with. You'll see what I mean in a second. So let's just glue this one down. It's a bit further over on this side, but that's okay, that doesn't matter. Using a bone folder, I'm just going to burnish this down, which will make it easier to get that backing off. And then we'll peel this off, and this is where we need to be careful, because I need to make sure that I get my pocket on straight. Let's move my black paper out of the way, and let's have a look. Let me stand up to do this, and I'm just going to eyeball it, but just make sure that I get that as straight as possible. I think about there, like that, and use the bone folder again just to burnish that down. And now we've got a nice deep pocket, and because we didn't glue it straight to the edge, can you see here, it just means that we've got a deeper pocket inside to be able to work with. So I'm going to glue the other one down now on the right hand side as well. So as you can see, I've added the extra pocket now on the inside back cover as well. And I must say that I got this idea from the Gentleman Crafter. I think his YouTube channel is called the Gentleman Crafter UK. His name is John. I will leave the link to his channel in the description box below, because he has some amazing ideas. And in fact, the idea that he shared was for storing either stamps or die sets, which again is something that I will be doing, because I'm trying to really get myself organised. So that's that, pockets front and back. I do want to do something with the outside of this, just because it's too busy. There is too much of that floral design, and that's really starting to annoy me. I've cut myself a piece of white mixed media paper, and you can see that I've raggeded the edges just using a pair of scissors. I've just gone around the edge with a pair of scissors here just to grunge it up a little bit. I don't know whether I'm going to distress this with some ink or not. I haven't decided yet. I've also pulled out a piece of burlap in a colour that coordinates really well with that fabric. And I've also got here an old IKEA postcard, and this dates back to 2007. I've got a feeling I picked this up from the scrap store. I haven't been to the scrap store since before the pandemic, and you all know how much I love the place, and I just think that just looks far more pleasing to my eye. So I'm going to glue that down to start off with. I'm not going to do any stitching, I'm just going to glue that down as it is. That looks so much better to me. It's just broken up the busyness of that background. So now I am ready to add my elastic for my signatures. Now what you want to do is singe the ends. I've already done one. Let me show you how I did that. Just cut it off so that the elastic is nice and flush. And then you want to take a lighter or a match and just gently singe the end, and that will just stop it fraying. So there we go, that will do fine. Then let's see if I've got enough space to be able to show you this on camera. I am going to take one end of the elastic and just hold it at the top, and I want to wrap it round so that I have got 5 signatures. I'm not pulling it too tightly because I know that I've got quite a lot of stuff that I want to put in here. So that's 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Oh, hang on, I've got a knot. Let me just get rid of this knot Let's see if I can do this without having to start again. Here we are. So that was, did I say 4 times? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just need to wrap this around one more time. Here we go. And then make sure you hold on to everything, because if you let go, it's all going to go twang and everything will unravel. So what you want to do now is cross the pieces of elastic over. Wrap one underneath. All 5. Hang on, let me just grab that 5th one. Here we are. And tie it in a knot. So that's 1 knot. Let's do another. There we are. And then you can fiddle around then with the spacing of these as you want to, but that's what it looks like. And this is exactly the same kind of binding method that I used for my usual scraps journal, and it's just a great way of being able to take pages in and out. So here you go. You can see that elastic is tight, but not too tight. I've got plenty of flexibility. So now the fun part. Let's fill this up with loads of scrap goodies. I hope this isn't too dark for you. I've just turned my overhead light off because I've got some glare because of these plastic pockets. The first thing I am going to add to my my Flowish journal are these beautiful envelopes here. These came from a company called Boden, which is a clothing company here in the UK. The clothes are absolutely gorgeous, and I used to order a lot of stuff from Boden, and I think the earliest one of these dates back to March 2018. This one is May 2018. They used to send me £10 off gift vouchers to encourage me to buy more things and spend more. That one's September 2018. Here we go. That one's March 2018. But just look at the gorgeous envelopes. I've wiped out my address. Of course, the pattern is on both sides. These are absolutely gorgeous, and this is my kind of junk mail. Absolutely love it. Just look at this. Now, I wanted to use these in my usual scraps journal last year, and do you think I could remember where I had put all of these? But I found them when I was tidying up just after Christmas. So I've got a whole wad of these. I've also got this one here, and I am just going to pop these into this plastic pocket here. Aren't those gorgeous? And I might pull these out shortly and fill them up with other things. I've also got some other envelopes as well here. You will laugh your socks off at this one. What's that attached to that? My children call me funny things. Alex calls me mother. And I think this was a Mother's Day card that he'd sent me, and you can see here, mother. I can just hear him saying it. And Sam, the youngest, calls me Ma. So those are their nicknames for me. So I've got a whole wad of different coloured envelopes here. This one here is really pretty. Look at that one. I think that was probably a Valentine's Day that I had sent to Stephen, but I kept the envelopes. And this is another gorgeous envelope that I think was sent to me in Happy Mail, probably from Linda by the looks of it, with all the splatters. But I filled it with other envelopes that I've received in Happy Mail as well as this one here, which I think is a commercial one, but I thought those might be fun to use. So those are the first things that I am putting into my Flowish journal. Let me just try and tuck those in there. I've also got this that was obviously sent in the mail as well, and I thought that's a really cool pocket to alter. I found some CD pockets as well hanging around the house, and then I've got a couple of glassine envelopes here, and just one of those money envelopes. So again, I'm just going to pop those in the pocket here as well, if they will fit. There we go. One of those envelopes is one of those string bindings. So let's see what else we can fill this with. I've also made a smaller one of these laminated pockets, and I filled it full of these window packaging. This is from a box of Tunnock's tea cakes. This was from a box of handkerchiefs. I've used one of these in a project before. And then we've got a couple of these slide frames, and this is from some Laurel soap, so I thought those might be quite fun to use in projects as well. And I thought, you know, a good way to keep them would be in another one of these envelopes. Of course, I'm not going to be able to get everything back in again now, am I? There we are, I've done it. So I'm just going to pop this in the pocket at the back. So I just like to be able to see these things, just because I feel that, you know, if they're out of sight, they're out of mind, and I'm more likely to use them this way. And then I've put some signatures together. Just look how gorgeous these look. Various scraps that I have lying around. This one here is Wallpaper Samples. I just absolutely love these. These two here are Miller Harris. I've got no idea what this one is. Does it say? It doesn't. This is something that came with one of the Calm magazines. Just look how beautiful that is. But you know, I might as well put these in this journal because otherwise I am just never going to use them. We have got some embossed wallpaper here, another wallpaper sample, more Miller Harris. What make is that? Farron Ball, and these are all free samples. None of these have cost me anything. I've also got this, which I did pay for. I got this for 10p from the scrap store a few years ago. More wallpaper samples. Here we go. Let me just show you the designs that I've pulled out. And I've pulled out ones that I thought, you know, I might be able to use to put my pages together when I am doing my next scrap journal, Use Your Scraps journal. So that is the first signature. And I think I'm going to put this one in the middle because this is the largest one. So let's feed this under here. So because it's in the elastic, that means that it's just really easy for me to pull these out when I want to use them. I've also put together some neutrals. I've got some Braille paper here. I've got some paper that came in packaging. This is embossed with little stars. Can you see that pattern? And I thought that might be quite handy. A piece of Amazon packaging, some pianola rolls, some music papers, ledger papers as well. I think are a really good way of neutralising things. Some German book paper, dictionary paper, another piece of ledger, some packaging here, a couple of pieces of really pretty stamped packaging, some Asian paper and some tissue paper, and another piece of packaging as well. So I thought those might be quite nice to use. So where shall I put those? I think I'll put those in the next signature along this way. So we'll have these here like this. Let's see if I can slide those under without wrecking my composition. So that's that. And you can see that I've cut everything so that I know that it's going to fit into this journal. Then next up, I've got a whole heap of paper bags. I am a complete hoarder of paper bags. This one here is from a clothing company called White Stuff. This was a great big bag with handles on the top, and I've just cut it apart, so I've still got the back piece as well. But how many fun images are there on here that you know, are going to be great to use? So that's that one there. This is some gift wrap left over from Christmas, although because it's stripes, I didn't think it was particularly festive. More gift wrap, and then these are just paper bags. Look at that paisley design there, absolutely love it. And this one here, absolutely gorgeous. So whenever I receive anything in a nice paper bag, of course, I just cannot bring myself to throw it away. We've got a lovely pink one here, spotty one of these that I've used before, Uno de 50, I love their jewellery, and then this one here as well. So let's slide all of these in. I think we'll have these in the next slot along. Hang on, let's see if I can get this in. So that's where those are going to go. So that's how it's looking so far. It looks so pretty. It's getting full already. Look at that. Then I've got some brochures that I've received with things that I've bought. Let me just show you. This here is from Lily and Me, which is a clothing brand. Look how beautiful those patterns are. And I also found a butterfly heart, and I just thought the colours went really well together, so I've just clipped that on the outside. Waitrose supermarket here in the UK, often on their front desk will have things advertising their flowers to order. There are some gorgeous designs on this, which would make the most wonderful focal images, so I've got that. We have, let's have a look, the next one, Farrow and Ball, which is a wallpaper and paint company. Just look at that brochure, look at that gorgeous marbled design here. Let me take it out so that you can see it properly. Isn't that just beautiful? So I've got one of those. I also have another Farrow and Ball brochure as well. Look at the butterflies inside that. How gorgeous is that? I have an envelope that had my Period Living magazine in. When Period Living decided to go more eco-friendly, they used to send everything out in plastic bags, and the first time they went eco-friendly, they sent the first one out in this gorgeous envelope with this wonderful design. They only did it once, and then they went over to something very boring with just random birds on it in black and white. Not very exciting at all, but I kept this one. This is from a Worcester 3 Choirs brochure. This was the cover, and I just love the text, so I kept that. This was from a free sample of Comfort fabric softener that came through the post, and I just thought the design on that was beautiful, so I kept it. Laura Ashley, which is another clothing brand here. This was advertising their paint and wallpaper collection. They do home furnishings as well, and I thought the designs on that were gorgeous. Something that I picked up from the Royal Worcester Museum of Royal Worcester. Just thought the design on the front of that was beautiful. And then this was something that I had in the slippers that I had for Christmas. I just thought the design on this thank you note that came with my slippers was beautiful, and this was also inside the shoebox as well. Just look how pretty those designs are, aren't they gorgeous? So that's those. So I'm going to slot those into the journal as well. So hang on, how am I going to do this? We'll perhaps have those here like this, because I think they go really well with the patterns on these gorgeous envelopes. And so we just have one more slot now to fill. And on the back, I'm just going to slot in this 2018 calendar. There are some gorgeous designs on this. Just look at this, absolutely beautiful. So I bought this calendar. I don't think I've written anything on any of the slots. I tend to do everything on my computer, so I just never used it. But the designs are just absolutely beautiful. We've got these on the back as well, so I am going to slot this in. I've already taken the staples out of it, just so that the pages are going to be really easy for me to reach, and that's going to go in that final slot there. Let's see, how full is that looking? That is just scrumptious. I'm also going to include in my journal this wad of embossed papers here. I've also got a few die cuts that have been sent to me over the years as well, which I thought would make great mounts for focal images, so I'm going to pop those in the journal. I've pulled out a handful of doilies as well. Doilies are always useful for making a page pretty. I've got those. And then I've got various wad of different types of just scraps of things and old postcards that I've collected. Plymouth University, this was something that was obviously sent to one of my boys when they were deciding which university to go to. I've got these which were cut from a wallpaper sample book, really pretty patterns. Some painty papers, more scraps, more painty papers, handmade paper. Look at that one, I love that. I think that was sent to me by my friend Pam. That's come out of a box of chocolates. This came in a pack when I sent off for some swatches, because we are thinking of we are definitely going to be changing our furniture. Another flower delivery thing. Thank you for choosing us. Art from the Heart. Again, thank you for your order. That came with a pair of shoes. Welcome to student banking. How cool is that? The colour of water. That's obviously come from some kind of art gallery. Another flowers through the post, or something that's come in, the flower magazines that they usually send out before the spring. John Lewis advertising their wedding insurance. This is something that I got from a local restaurant, and this one here was from the scrap store. So I am going to put these ones here in the back of my journal. In fact, I might not put those in the back. Bring it back. I'm running out of space here. And then I think what I'm going to do is leave the video here, and I will be back sometime next week showing how I'm going to store my focal images. I haven't really got room in this one anymore, so I've decided I'm going to store my focal images in one of the Concertina file folders and keep them separate, so that I can see all of my background pieces, which are just absolutely great for layering. And then I'll have all of my focal images separate. There is a few things that I can use for focal images in here, but most of them really are background pieces. But I think I've got a gazillion pieces here to work on, and I hope this has given you some ideas as well as to the types of scraps that you can collect that you probably have lying around your home. I mean, people always say, oh Nina, your scraps are so pretty, I don't have anything like that. I am sure you probably do, or you could probably find them. It's just knowing what kinds of things to look out for and where to get them from. So I'll put the doilies there, I think, like that. Oh, that feels so gorgeous. I am so looking forward to playing with this. I might need to add some kind of closure actually, and maybe trim a little bit of this piece of wallpaper, but I'll show you that if I do in the next video. I am hoping that having all of these supplies all in one place, for one, is going to keep my desk more tidy and organised, and also, everything's going to be at really easy reach. I can't wait to start using all of these wonderful goodies, and I hope that that's given you some ideas as well as to, the types of supplies that you can start collecting, ready to start the projects for 2022. It was Rosemary Morris who first started these Flowish trashy journals, I think she called them, several years ago, and I will leave the link to Rosemary's YouTube channel in the description box below. It is well worth your while going over and taking a look if you are not familiar with her. She shares lots of different ideas for Flowish trashy journals, both ones that she has made herself and ones that she's received in various swaps that she's done. I think she's got her own Facebook group as well, but I'll leave the link to Rosemary's YouTube channel for anybody who's interested in going along and taking a look. But I just hope that this has given you some ideas to get yourself prepared and get you started ready for the challenges in 2022. So just to reiterate, the challenge for this week is gather your supplies and, have a look at the beginning of the video where I show different ways that you could do that. You don't have to make a Flowish journal if you don't want to. You could make a Concertina file and, organise your supplies that way. But I'd hope that, lots of you will participate. And for anybody who wants to follow along with this year's challenges, I'll leave the link to the Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium, in the description box below for anybody who wants to come along and join us. Just be aware that we are a prompt related group, so anything you post must be related to our prompts. Now, I co-host the group with Kylie Koo from Kylie Koo Studio, and I will leave the link to Kylie's video this week again in the description box below, so she will have no doubt done something completely different to me. So do go and see how she's decided to interpret this week's prompt. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along with me this year, so that you get notifications of all of my up and coming videos. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.